welcome to another 8/16/32-bit. Today I'm looking at the Phoenix Project emulator, specifically how it handles 3DO emulation and Atari Jaguar emulation. So, without further ado, let's have a look at the emulator in action itself. Oh, here you go, here you can see here's the main screen. You can select the different emulators on the right there. I've got it set up for the 3DO here, but you can also see the ColecoVision, the Game Gear and the Jaguar. So first up I'm going to get the 3DO going, and I think I'm using Burning Soldier here. Here you go, yep, it's booting in as you can see, Burning Soldier. Screen slightly off center, but that's just how the emulator appears to be set up on some games. There you go, it's playing the FMV back quite nicely. It's quite smooth. Quality is what you expect. It's a low resolution video file to begin with, and it is nicely updated. Well, upscaled rather. Updated, what an idiot. As you can see, it's running fairly smoothly. The frame rate isn't great, but it wasn't on the original video. It's probably somewhere in the region of 15 to 20 FPS. Quick press of the button and we're into the options. A tiny bit of slowdown here and there, part of which I've put down to the fact that I was using a screen capture to record the video, because without the screen capture being done, everything ran very smoothly indeed. Well, here you go, it actually loads into the game itself. As you can see, it's a simple on-rail shooter, similar to, say, Starblade or any number of FMV-based attractions in the arcade from around the time. But it handles pretty smoothly. The controls are good, the frame rate's excellent, there's no skipping, there's no hitches, there's no glitching that I can see. Yeah, so this is a good example of how it handles a lot of streaming data, given that the entire background here is an FMV being streamed from what would be an original disc. As it is, I'm using a backup ISO here, simply because I didn't want to mess about setting up my CD-ROM drive. But I think it's about time we changed games here, so I'll go and do what's needed to do that. As you can see, you'll simply go, you press the little power button to turn the system off, you select the game you want with a double click, press the power button, and here we go into a game that many people would consider to be a bit of a killer app for the 3DO here. Ooh, it's Electronic Arts. It's Road Rash. As you can see, again, some nice looking FMV. It's a little bit better quality on this, but I think Electronic Arts were, even from the off, very handy with the system's capabilities, probably because Trip Hawkins was working at 3DO and EA at the time, so EA got a real jump on the development tools. As you can see, some nice digitized backgrounds. Again, things look a little rough, but this is a pretty raw image which is being upscaled to work on my laptop, which is a 1080p display. Load times for an emulator emulating physical media is pretty good, and we're off when I press the right button. There we go. Again, everything looks as it should. The frame rate's smooth, the controls are good. It looks and plays just like the game does on the original hardware. Now, there is a caveat to using this emulator. Phoenix Project is an emulator which has been developed in Russia. I said the Soviet Union, giving my age away there. But yes, it's been developed in Russia, which means the emulator is in Russian. However, what I've done here, and you can see, is I've installed an English language patch to the emulator, which allows you to see all the options in English, basically. It's what an English language patch would do. If you'd expect it to do anything other than that, you're a bit strange. Anyway, so we're nearly finished here with this footage, and I'm now going to switch over to Jaguar mode, and I make a cock up here because I look for a game to select. I look for Checkered Flag, I think, and I only make a single click, and I forget that I've already got a ROM set up, which is Raiden. But we'll have a look at Raiden. I realised this after I'd clicked it. And we can see how it handles Atari Jaguar emulation, something which is notoriously tricky. Now, as Jaguar games go, Raiden's a pretty simple one. It's a vertically scrolling shoot 'em up. But you know, as you can see, the emulator seems to be going fine here. It's quite smooth. For some reason I managed to activate the second player, don't know how, given that I've only got one controller plugged in. But as you can see, everything moves pretty smoothly. The scrolling's nice and smooth. The speed's there, there's no obvious slowdown or anything. You're about to see why I'm so rubbish at shoot 'em ups. There we go. Killed within seconds. Yeah, as you can see, everything looks as it should. Obviously I've got the audio muted thanks to the weird and wonderful algorithms of YouTube. I don't want to get caught out on anything, but it sounds pretty much like it should at this point. There's no glitches, there's no hitching, there's no pops or crackles. It's a really nicely done emulator at this point. Somehow I managed to survive through this, which usually by this point in this game I'm so bad at scrolling shoot 'em ups, I'm usually dead completely by now and I'm on to my next continue. But for some reason, recording this today, everything went fine. As you can see, there are no glitches, there are no hitches, there's no screen tearing. Let's try something a little bit more demanding here. I'm going to go with Cybermorph. Sorry, not Checkered Flag. My God, I'm an idiot. This was meant to be the tech showcase for the Jaguar when it released, and it did look reasonably good at the time. Now, I will say you can't really hear it here, obviously, because I've got the audio muted, but there were a few audio hitches, especially when it was trying to play multiple sounds at once. So when you can hear the your vehicle's blaster go in and the annoying green woman pops up with her annoying voice samples, which are nicely recorded, it must be said, you get a little bit of stutter and hitch. Now, I've not tried this game out without running any recording software, so it could just be that the extra system drain from the video recording software was causing hitches. But as I said earlier, the Jaguar is a notoriously difficult system to emulate. Jag emulation has been an ongoing project for the best part of 20 years, and there are still lots of problems with a lot of the games. But you know, it looks pretty good. I mean, you know, there's no graphical glitching, which is the key. Audio glitches you can probably, I know I can live with. I think most people can. Let's have a look at Checkered Flag here. This is a bit more demanding again. For those who don't know, Jaguar Checkered Flag's a very virtual racing looking game, and truth be told, it doesn't look, to my eye anyway, drastically better than the 32X version of Virtua Racing Deluxe. But again, you can see the Jaguar handles it quite well. The frame rate is respectable. There's no obvious hitching or glitching. There's no apparent slowdown. So this is technically a very sound emulator. Now, I enjoy using this emulator. Overall, I think it's very good, especially for the two systems it's working with, which are notoriously awkward to emulate well. That's all I can say. It's worth downloading the emulator and the patch. I'll stick the links in the description so you can go and get them. And yeah, try it out yourself. You might actually find that there are gems on these systems that you've never had a chance to play that this allows you to do. Well, all that remains for me to say here is if you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button and leave a comment below telling me why. And if you've never visited this channel before, or even if you have and you enjoyed the content, hit the subscribe button to be notified when we get new content. So long, folks.